Hello, everybody. My name's Rick McCutcheon, and today on Partner Talks, we have John Thomas from CADTALK. John, tell the people who you are and what you do.
Well, hey, Rick, thanks so much for having me on Partner Talks today. So I'm CADTALK's head of demand. I oversee all of our marketing and external communications for our team, as well as also all of our partner relationship and development team. So wear a lot of hats, but who doesn't these days?
Okay, that's great. So, John, we usually start these interviews talking a little bit about who you are and what you've done and your career and how you got to the seat you're in today. Let's talk a little bit about your journey in business applications.
Sure. So I'm actually fairly new to business applications. So I joined CADTALK about 2 years ago. I come with a background in certainly not ERP and software. I come from a background in marketing and journalism, specifically broadcast journalism. That's where my background goes. So you've caught me in a familiar space here on a podcast. But I joined up with CADTALK a few years ago. CADTALK, however, has been in the space in biz apps a lot longer than I have. We've had an integration with Business Central and Finance and Operations for quite some time. But have enjoyed very much diving headfirst into the dynamic spaces, being able to meet lots of folks and just get immersed in the community. Such a wonderful community. So I've enjoyed that very much.
So I think this is a great opportunity for CADTALK to talk about exactly what is a CADTALK and what does your software do, and a little bit of history on the company.
Sure. So I'll start with the history. CADTALK started back in 2006. It was actually started by a manufacturing engineer who was on the shop floor, who was making designs, and decided that he was tired and done with having to enter all of his CAD data over into his ERP manually. So he said, I know how to fix that. I'll write a program. And so he did. And that is how CADTALK started, and the company began around 2006. It's had integrations in other ecosystems for quite some time. During that, CADTALK delved into the Microsoft ecosystem back in 2021, but has a very long history of working in other ecosystems. So about what CADTALK does specifically. CADTALK, I think that hits the name. A lot of folks are pretty able to figure out that it gets CAD systems talking over to your ERP. So I think, though, that stops short a little bit of what CADTALK can do. So I think folks recognize that can be, CADTALK's an import tool for your CAD data over to ERP. We've seen something like that before. We kind of understand what that might be. CADTALK, though, actually goes a little bit beyond that in terms of we do integrate with CAD, PDM, and PLM systems over to ERP. All of that data transfer is bidirectional, so there's able to be talking between systems going both directions. And CADTALK also uses a configurable rules engine. So it's there are AI capabilities in that we are expanding, but essentially CADTALK is able to take that CAD, PDM, and PLM data, interpret it, if you will, for the ERP, and then give it data that the ERP can really use and make the most of. So it eliminates all of the main pain points that you hear about from these types of tools. So any issues with manual data entry. So if you're entering CAD data over into your ERP manually, certainly solves that pain point. Coming alongside of that is going to solve data accuracy issues as well. But really, where CADTALK shines the most is in complex processes when manufacturers maybe are using multiple CAD systems, or they're doing a lot of engineer to order options. CADTALK is really able to handle that complexity well, because it is a configurable platform and not having to be built as an integration that is built one time. It's actually something that CADTALK has years and years of data backing it up that can be used as part of that configurable kind of rules engine, so that the system is learning from itself all the time.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about, I'm a CRM guy, so you're going to have to explain this to me. Why do I need my CAD data in my ERP? And the second question, what type of customers use CADTALK?
So to answer that first question of why you need CAD data into your ERP, so whenever you're in your ERP and you are handling all of your production as a manufacturer, you are needing to be able to have your things on the shop floor running, your machines running, they're handling specific instructions. Well, getting that CAD data over there is really what the ERP lives off of to be able to make those decisions, to be able to say, okay, we need to be able to order this amount of material, of raw material. We need to be able to make sure the machines are cutting in this particular way. And sometimes that data in your CAD system is one-to-one with what you might see in your ERP. So maybe you have part numbers set up as your business. And so maybe the part numbers are set up in your ERP, they mirror what's in your CAD, and you're just able to send that data over, or maybe you're using a spreadsheet to copy that over or something along those lines. So that CAD data is very useful for being able to understand, for your ERP to understand what it's going to be doing. However, there are situations where there are measurements in CAD that you might have. So you have dimensions and all of those sorts of things of what you might be building. Well, maybe that data is not one-to-one with what's in your ERP. Maybe your field looks a little bit different of what your machines on the shop floor need to be able to make and do their job in terms of taking that data from the CAD. So that's why CADTalk does that interpretation, is kind of the best way to call it, so that when the CAD data goes over into your ERP, using your business rules, you can say, okay, I want the CAD data to appear this way in the ERP so the ERP can make the most use of it. And that is where kind of that translation and that interpretation comes in. But coming down to that CAD data, if a common instance, you ask, kind of going deeper into that question is, someone has their CAD data and let's say they're ordering, they want to order 10 of a part or 10 of a raw material that they need, and that purchase order is then going through over into the ERP. You're using that CAD data to make that purchase order. But let's say you're manually entering that data or using a spreadsheet, you actually put an extra 0 in there and you end up ordering 100. That's something that's going to cost you time, that's going to cost you a lot of money, and if you're the person who did that, it's not going to make your boss very happy. So it's certainly a way in which, by automating that process, there's still opportunities for manual oversight. CADTalk's not removing all of that in all cases by any means, but there is certainly an opportunity to be able to remove the tedium of the manual data entry and remove those possibility for mistakes there. To answer your second question about who is typically using CADTalk, what do we see? Where does CADTalk play really well? Typically, I kind of mentioned a few minutes ago, engineered to order manufacturers. So manufacturers that are producing a lot of designs, they typically will have a larger engineering team, and typically they're not producing things the same each time. Maybe they're making something specific for a customer. So we see a lot of industries that we work with a lot of different ones, but certainly discrete manufacturing, industrial manufacturing, we see that a lot. We have customers across all types of manufacturers, food and beverage. We even have aerospace and defense. All of those different categories play with CADTalk as well, but certainly a large portion of industrial and discrete manufacturers, sheet metal fabrication, those types of areas.
Okay, great. And, let's talk a little bit about partners, because CADTalk's got a very good relationship with its partners. So if I'm a partner, what type of partner works well with CADTalk? It sounds like if I have discrete manufacturing customers, absolutely. But, you can work with a BC partner, F&O partner, or really a CRM partner, because I've done CRM projects for these types of companies, and I'm sure CADTalk would have been a great tool to have back when I did those.
So yes, typically we're going to be looking at partners in the BC and F&O space where we have those integrations pre-built. The way that works is we have pre-built integrations, but then we can configure it to what the business that you're working with needs. So that typically works well for partners whenever we're getting into these conversations, because there is the opportunity to be able to see some demos of how the product works and be able to understand and wrap your mind around kind of that configurable piece of it. But certainly partners who are in the manufacturing space, if you have manufacturers that you're working with, CADTalk certainly can be a fit for all types of manufacturing. Those are typically the partners that we see working the most. And then, partners whose customers deal with that extra little bit of complexity. We see a lot of customers who work really well with CADTalk compared to other possible ways to solve this issue. When there's multiple CAD systems, when there is a PLM system involved, that's something that we typically see. So partners who see that kind of complexity that come up with their manufacturers, and also just partners who are looking to learn in this particular space. It's pretty niche. This is an area where we try to, as much as we can, be able to not only provide a solution, but also provide education on the opportunities of, do we need to pursue a PLM? Because we work with a lot of PLM partners. Do we need to bring in this other CAD system? We're not by definition consultants, but we do see a lot of different permutations of possible solutions that we're able to be able to provide some insight to. So hopefully partners can help their customers make the best possible decisions for the use cases that they need.
Okay, excellent. So, Microsoft's after us to become frontier partners. In fact, I have a new podcast, Frontier Partner Show. So it's exciting times out there with AI. And I've got to imagine AI has got to play a tremendous role in, what CADTalk's working on. So do you want to talk a little bit about, how AI is playing out at CADTalk?
Absolutely. So I'll talk about two ways in which we're really seeing that. One is kind of how it's always been in the product in some form or fashion, and then the advances that we're making. So just to some form or fashion, CADTalk has had a form of AI in the product to be able to help read data, be able to interpret data, and then be able to make decisions based on that. That's what you see. It was certainly not AI as we know it in 2026, but there's always been that piece of that in the product with CADTalk. And certainly internally at CADTalk, we have embraced AI and being able to use that in our everyday. In terms of what we're working on, though, as the product goes, the biggest things that we are currently developing right now, I'll go as much into it as I can, but we are looking at being able to take all of this experience across different platforms, all these different types of users, and be able to really bake that into a cognitive layer within CADTalk that is able to be used then by a customer or a partner to be able to learn from this 20 plus years of experience that CADTalk brings to the table. And the nice thing that I mentioned earlier about it being a configurable platform is that those things can be learned. They aren't one-to-one necessarily specific to a certain business on how a certain business has to run it. It's ways in which that we can develop best practices of being able to say, hey, you're in this industry, you're using this ERP, here are CADTalk's recommendations for being able to do this. We have all of that information internally, and we are able to bring that with our consultants, but we're working on making that much more accessible to our customer base and to our partners as well. And so AI is playing a big role in that. I'm excited to be able to roll out some of those product updates. I would say probably in just the next 3 to 4 months. We'll have everything working on that. Our development team is working very hard on making those updates, and I think everyone's really excited about what's coming. And I'm excited to be able to roll it out. It's kind of a dream from an external communications perspective. It's lots to be able to talk about. So I'm looking forward to it.
Okay, John, thanks for your time and thanks for coming on Partner Talks. I'm sure we'll be getting back together with you in the future to talk more about, what's new with your technology and how you're working with our partner ecosystem.
Well, thank you, Rick. I appreciate your time, and thank you so much for having me on.
Have a great day, and bye for now.
Take care.